Have you ever wondered why some relationships stand the test of time, while others crumble under pressure? Is it possible that there's something more than love, something deeper that determines the success or failure of a relationship? Today, I want to share with you a truth that has the power to transform your relationships and your future. Choosing the right partner is not just a decision, it's a destiny-altering choice. The person you choose to walk with through life will shape your dreams, your goals, and even your legacy. But it's not enough to simply find someone you're attracted to, someone who makes you feel good. You need more than just chemistry, you need alignment, you need purpose. You see, when we talk about relationships, we're not just talking about companionship. We're talking about destiny, purpose, and the fulfillment of the call on your life. The right partner will not just walk with you, they will walk in the same direction, in alignment with the divine purpose that God has placed on your life. Now, I want you to hear me clearly, this message is not just about finding someone to marry. This is about aligning yourself with a partner who is going to help you fulfill your life's purpose. Your partner should not just be someone you love, they should be someone who aligns with your vision, your goals, and your mission in life. In today's message, I'm going to show you the key qualities you must look for in a spouse and why purpose alignment is absolutely essential to building a relationship that lasts. When you choose a partner, you are choosing not just a companion for today, but a co-laborer in your purpose, a fellow traveler on the path that God has ordained for your life. And that is the most powerful decision you will ever make. So, let's talk about these qualities, let's talk about purpose, and let's get ready to make the right choice for the future God has destined for you. Now let us start by talking about the importance of choosing the right partner. 1. Choosing the right partner has an impact on your future. The greatest mistake in life is not being unmarried, it's being wrongly married. One of the most powerful decisions you will ever make, apart from following Christ, is the decision of who you will marry. Your partner will either be your greatest asset or your greatest liability. They will either fuel your purpose or frustrate your destiny. Listen carefully, marriage does not improve people, it exposes them. If you marry a broken person, their brokenness will be magnified in your life. If you marry a person without vision, they will drain you of yours. That's why Proverbs 13 verse 20 says, "He who walks with the wise will become wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm." Your emotional, mental, and spiritual health is tied to the person you spend your life with. If you marry someone who does not understand your assignment, they will pull you away from it. If you marry someone who does not value growth, they will resist your transformation. That's why marriage is not just about finding someone to live with, it's about finding someone you can't live without because they push you toward your God-given destiny. 2. Marriage as a partnership. Marriage is not just love, marriage is work. Love is the foundation, but purpose is the glue that holds it together. The world has lied to us about marriage. It tells us that love is enough. But love alone is not enough. Marriage is not sustained by feelings, it is sustained by vision. If you do not have a shared vision, the marriage will not last. When God created Eve, He did not give Adam a wife, He gave Adam a helper. That means Adam had to already have an assignment. A woman is not called to help a man sit around, she is called to help him fulfill his purpose. And men, your job is not just to marry a woman because she is beautiful, your job is to ensure she can walk alongside you in the purpose God has called you to. Marriage is not two people staring into each other's eyes all day, it is two people walking in the same direction, focused on the same God-given goal. That is why Amos 3 verse 3 says, "Can two walk together unless they agree?" Agreement in vision is what makes a partnership successful. You are not looking for a playmate, you are looking for a purpose partner. If your partner does not understand where you are going, they cannot help you get there. 3. It is more than chemistry, the power of compatibility is essential. Love is a feeling, but marriage is an agreement. You don't marry for emotions, you marry for destiny. Too many people get married because of chemistry. They say, "Oh, we have so much in common. We like the same music, we have fun together, and we make each other laugh." But hear me, laughter will not sustain you when life gets tough. Chemistry is good, but compatibility is essential. Compatibility is about alignment. It's about asking, do we share the same values? Do we have the same beliefs? Can we build a future together? Because let me tell you, if you marry someone who does not have your values, one of you will have to compromise. Either they will pull you away from your standards, or you will have to fight for your convictions every day. And let's talk about spiritual compatibility. If you are a woman who loves God and wants to raise your children in the fear of the Lord, but you marry a man who thinks church is a waste of time, what will happen to your children? If you are a man who has a passion for ministry, but you marry a woman who wants nothing to do with the things of God, what will happen to your calling? Don't marry potential, marry patterns. Potential is what a person could become. Patterns reveal who they already are. Stop ignoring the red flags and believing someone will change after marriage. What you see now is what you will get forever. If they don't pray now, they won't pray later. If they don't respect you now, they won't respect you later. That is why choosing the right partner is not just a romantic decision, it is a destiny decision. The devil does not have to destroy you, he just has to send you the wrong spouse. The person you marry will either bring you closer to God or pull you further away. They will either help you grow or make you stagnate. They will either push you into purpose or become a distraction from it. So before you say, I do, make sure you are saying yes to purpose, yes to vision, and yes to a partner who will walk with you in the same divine direction. Key qualities to look for in a spouse. 1. Shared values, the foundation of a lasting relationship. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, it is living without purpose. One of the most critical things you must look for in a spouse is shared values. I'm not talking about shared interests change, but values are what hold a relationship together. You see, values define who you are. They shape your decisions, your priorities, and your future. That's why the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. What does that mean? It means if you don't share the same values, you will always be pulling in different directions. A person's values determine how they handle money, are they disciplined, or do they waste resources? How they treat family, do they honor marriage, or do they see commitment as optional? How they view God, is their faith real, or do they only act religious when convenient? Two cannot walk together unless they agree. If you don't agree on what truly matters, you will live in constant frustration. That's why your partner should not just be someone you love, they should be someone who aligns with your convictions so that you can grow together, not apart. 2. Emotional maturity, the strength to handle life's challenges. Marriage is not for boys and girls, it is for kings and queens. Listen to me, one of the most dangerous things you can do is marry someone who is emotionally immature. Why? Because life will test you. Storms will come, challenges will arise, and if your partner does not have the emotional capacity to handle pressure, your marriage will collapse under stress. A mature partner does 3 things. They communicate openly. They don't shut down or lash out when things get tough. They resolve conflicts calmly. They don't fight to win, they fight to understand. They manage stress with wisdom. They don't let their emotions control them, they control their emotions. Never marry someone who cannot handle correction. If they get defensive every time you point out something they need to work on, you are marrying a problem, not a partner. Growth requires humility. And a person who refuses to grow will eventually become a weight that drags you down. 3. Trustworthiness and integrity, the bedrock of a healthy relationship. If you cannot trust the person you are with, you are already in trouble. Trust is not given, it is earned. A great marriage is built on a foundation of trust, and trust is built through consistency, honesty, and integrity. A trustworthy person keeps their word. They don't say one thing and do another. A person of integrity lives by principles. They don't compromise their values when it's convenient. A faithful partner protects your heart. They don't play with your emotions or make you doubt where you stand. That's why Proverbs 10 verse 9 says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely. If your partner has integrity, your heart will feel secure. But if they lack integrity, you will always live in doubt, fear, and suspicion. The devil doesn't need to destroy your marriage, he just needs to plant distrust. If there is no trust, there is no relationship. Choose someone whose character is stronger than their charm, whose honesty is greater than their words, and whose actions reflect their heart. 4. Compassion and empathy, the power of kindness in a relationship. You can always measure a person's love by how they treat those who can do nothing for them. A successful marriage is not about who is right, it is about who is kind. Love is not proven in words, it is proven in actions of compassion. A partner with empathy will seek to understand your emotions, not just react to them. Stand by you in difficult times, not run away. speak to you with kindness, even when they are frustrated. If a person is rude to waiters, harsh to children, and disrespectful to their parents, what makes you think they will treat you differently after marriage? Jesus said, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you," Luke 6 verse 31. A person without kindness will bring coldness into your home. Marry someone who speaks life, not death, into your dreams. When you go through challenges, you don't need a critic, you need a comforter. You don't need someone who will break you down, you need someone who will build you up. 5. Ambition and drive, a partner who pushes you to become better. You are either running with vision or running with destruction, there is no in between. A great partner is not just a person who loves you, they are a person who challenges you to become better. Your spouse should inspire you to grow, not keep you stagnant. Look at the Proverbs 31 woman, she was industrious, wise, and productive. Look at Boaz, he was a man of means, responsibility, and leadership. These were people of ambition. A partner with ambition will encourage you to pursue your dreams, support your goals and vision, continuously grow and improve themselves. If you marry someone who has no dreams, they will become a nightmare to your destiny. That's why Proverbs 27 verse 17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." Marriage should be a sharpening process. If your partner is not sharpening you, they are dulling you. Never settle for potential, marry a person who is already walking in purpose. Love alone is not enough for a successful marriage. You need shared values, emotional maturity, trust, compassion, and ambition. If you choose wisely, your marriage will be a blessing. If you choose carelessly, it will be a burden. So before you say "I do," make sure you are saying "I do" to a future of growth, purpose, and divine alignment. Purpose alignment is the key to a successful marriage. 1. Why purpose alignment is crucial. Where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. One of the greatest mistakes people make in choosing a life partner is focusing only on love and attraction while ignoring purpose and vision. Listen to me, marriage is not just about finding someone you love, it is about finding someone you can run with in the race of life. Amos 3 verse 3 asks a critical question: can two walk together unless they are agreed? The answer is no. If you and your partner are going in different directions in life, one of two things will happen. You will spend your marriage pulling each other in opposite directions. One of you will have to sacrifice your destiny to follow the other. This is why purpose alignment is non-negotiable. Purpose alignment means that your individual callings, assignments, and goals complement each other rather than compete. When you are aligned in purpose, your marriage becomes a force of impact rather than a source of struggle. 2. The power of common goals, building together. Marriage is not about making each other happy, it is about fulfilling God's assignment together. If you and your partner do not share common long-term goals, you are setting yourselves up for conflict, frustration, and resentment. Every successful marriage is built on unity of purpose. Think about this: when Adam was created, he was given work before he was given Eve, Genesis 2 verse 15. Adam had an assignment from God, and Eve was designed to help him fulfill it. In other words, marriage was never meant to be two people wandering through life, it was meant to be two people working toward a shared vision. Ask yourself these questions. Are we moving in the same direction? Do we have similar aspirations for the future? Will this person support and encourage my dreams, or will they become a distraction? When your individual purposes align, you're not just supporting each other's dreams, you're building something together. This applies to every area of life. Family goals: do you both desire children? How do you want to raise them? Career goals: will your careers support each other, or will they create division? Ministry goals: are you both passionate about serving God in the same way? A house divided against itself cannot stand. If your marriage is divided in vision, it will become a battleground instead of a blessing. But when two people share a common purpose, nothing can stop them from building a life of impact. 3. Spiritual and personal alignment, the glue that holds everything together. Your marriage will only be as strong as the spiritual foundation it is built on. Purpose alignment is not just about career or family goals, it is about spiritual and personal alignment as well. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14, "Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers." Why? Because spiritual incompatibility will lead to division in every other area of life. If you believe in honesty and integrity, but your partner believes in cutting corners and lying, you will clash. If you want to raise godly children, but your partner doesn't believe in biblical principles, you will struggle. If you have a heart for ministry, but your partner resents church, you will constantly be pulled away from your calling. Purpose alignment doesn't only relate to career goals, it's also about shared spiritual beliefs and life philosophies. Listen, marriage is not about changing a person, it is about choosing a person whose life is already going in the direction God has called you to. If you have to convince, beg, or force someone to share your values, you are already unequally yoked. Choose someone whose spirit, mindset, and life mission already align with yours, so that instead of fighting for unity, you can flow in unity. For how to test for alignment, signs you are on the same page. Dating is not just about emotions, it is about investigation. Before you commit your life to someone, you must test for purpose alignment. How do you do this? By having intentional conversations about the future. Here are some ways to evaluate if your purpose is aligned. Talk about your 5 and 10-year plans. Where do they see themselves in the future? Do your visions complement each other? Discuss your spiritual commitments. Are they truly pursuing God, or are they just religious? Observe their work ethic and priorities. Are they passionate about growth, or are they complacent? See how they handle challenges. Do they persevere through obstacles, or do they give up easily? Pay attention to their influence. Who do they listen to? Who mentors them? Are they learning from people who align with godly principles? Take time to discuss where you see yourselves in 5 or 10 years and see if your dreams are in sync. Marriage is not an experiment, it is a lifelong covenant. The worst thing you can do is marry someone hoping they will change. Instead, marry someone who is already walking in purpose, so that your union will be a partnership in destiny, not a struggle in direction. Never marry potential, marry alignment. Love is not enough for a successful marriage. You need shared values, common goals, spiritual unity, and a vision for the future. If your lives are aligned before marriage, your marriage will be a place of peace and progress. But if your lives are not aligned, you will spend your years arguing, compromising, and feeling stuck. So before you say I do, make sure you are saying I do to a future that is aligned with God's purpose for your life. Because when two people walk in purpose together, they don't just build a marriage, they build a legacy that impacts generations. Now listen, there are 3 practical steps to finding the right partner. 1. Self-awareness. Know yourself before seeking a partner. The greatest discovery in life is self-discovery. Until you find yourself, you will always be lost trying to fit into places you don't belong. Before you can choose the right partner, you must first become the right person. The biggest mistake people make is looking for someone to complete them, when in reality, marriage is not about 2 incomplete people coming together, it is about 2 whole individuals partnering in purpose. Do you know who you are? Do you understand your assignment on earth? Have you identified your core values and what you stand for? Before finding the right person, make sure you're clear on who you are, what you value, and what your goals are. Too many people rush into relationships out of loneliness, pressure, or societal expectations, only to realize later that they are with someone who does not match their destiny. You don't marry because of age, emotions, or cultural expectations, you marry because you have found someone who aligns with God's vision for your life. A person who does not know themselves will always attract the wrong people. That is why the first step in finding the right partner is finding yourself. 2. Date with purpose. Don't waste time in casual relationships. Where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Many people treat dating like a game, jumping from one relationship to another without any clear direction. But if you are serious about your future, you cannot afford to waste time on people who are not going where you are going. Marriage is one of the most important kingdom assignments in life. The person you choose will influence your destiny, your peace, and even your walk with God. That is why you must date with intentionality, not emotions. Each date should give you insight into the person's character and whether they align with your values and purpose. Ask yourself these questions in a relationship. Are we growing together or just having fun? Does this person bring clarity to my life or confusion? Do we have shared values, or am I compromising my standards? Can I build a future with this person, or are we just passing time? If a relationship does not align with your vision, values, and purpose, walk away early. The longer you entertain the wrong person, the harder it becomes to let go when God sends the right one. 3. Open communication. Be clear about your intentions. A relationship without clear communication is like a house built on sand, it will collapse when the storms come. Many relationships fail not because of a lack of love, but because of a lack of clarity. People enter relationships assuming that they are on the same page, only to realize later that they had different expectations. This is why open and honest communication is crucial. From the very beginning, you must talk about your life goals and dreams. Where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10, or 20 years? Your spiritual values. Is your partner truly committed to God, or do they just attend church? Your expectations for marriage. Do you both agree on roles, family, finances, and leadership? Be upfront about your intentions in a relationship and make sure your partner is on the same page. Do not assume that someone will change after marriage. If they are not aligned with you before marriage, they will become a source of frustration after marriage. The Bible says, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, Proverbs 4 verse 7. A wise person does not just fall in love, they investigate, evaluate, and choose wisely. The right partner is a destiny helper, not a destiny hindrance. Your choice of a life partner can either multiply your potential or destroy your purpose. The person you marry should help you grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Encourage you to become the best version of yourself. Align with your life's purpose and push you closer to God. If a person distracts, drains, or delays your destiny, they are not the right partner for you. The right partner is a blessing, not a burden. They are a helper, not a hindrance. So before you commit to anyone, ask yourself, is this person aligned with my destiny, or are they pulling me away from it? Because when you marry right, you don't just have a partner, you have a kingdom ally who will walk with you into God's divine plan for your life. Choosing the right partner is choosing your future. My friends, life is not about where you are today, it's about where you are going. And the partner you choose will either help you reach your destiny or delay and distract you from it. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned today. The importance of choosing wisely. Marriage is not just about love, it's a partnership and purpose that will shape your future. The key qualities to look for: a great spouse is not just someone who attracts you but someone who aligns with your values, has emotional maturity, integrity, compassion, and ambition. The power of purpose alignment. If your life visions don't match, your relationship will always be a struggle. Shared goals, values, and spiritual beliefs create a strong foundation for a lasting union. Practical steps to finding the right partner. Before seeking the right person, become the right person. Date with purpose, communicate openly, and make sure your relationship is built on clarity, not assumptions. Patience, discernment, and trusting God. The right person is not found in a hurry, because destiny is too important to be rushed. Too many people make desperate decisions because they feel pressured by time, family, or society. But I want you to hear me today, you are not late. God's timing is perfect, and when you focus on fulfilling your own purpose, the right person will find you in the right season. Finding the right partner is a journey, not a race. Take your time, trust your instincts, and align yourself with someone who supports your purpose. Stop chasing after relationships, chase after purpose. When you are busy fulfilling what God has called you to do, the right person will meet you on that journey. Ruth didn't go looking for Boaz, Boaz found Ruth while she was working in purpose. Adam didn't search for Eve, God brought Eve to Adam when he was fulfilling his assignment. If you want the right partner, focus on becoming the best version of yourself, and trust that God will align you with someone who fits into his plan for your life. Remember, marriage is not just about finding the right person, it's about being the right person. Stay in purpose, walk in wisdom, and let God guide your steps.
Thank you for watching. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who needs it, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more life-changing teachings from Dr. Myles Munroe.